we are diving deep into something most of you have probably mixed into a shaker bottle this week.
Branched-chain amino acids.
BCAAs. This powder, or these capsules, have become, a real cornerstone of athletic performance and recovery.
Absolutely. And they are 3 specific essential amino acids: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. That word essential is so critical here.
Why is that?
It means your body just cannot produce them. You have to get them through your diet or, as we're seeing more and more, through supplements.
So for the consumer, it's a simple product, right? It promises reduced soreness, maybe faster recovery.
Yep, that's the label promise.
But for the manufacturers, what it takes to bring that colorful powder to the market is a high-stakes, incredibly technical industrial process.
And that's our mission today. We want to look past the simplicity of that label and really explore the complex logistics, the science behind the ratios, and just the sheer manufacturing demands that dictate everything you see.
From the price tag to the taste.
Exactly. We want to give you the complete picture. You're going to understand why certain blends are considered premium, how the ratios are formulated for different athletic goals, and, well, what kind of staggering financial investment is needed just to play in this market.
Okay, so it all starts with the power of those 3, right? Leucine, isoleucine, and valine.
Right.
Together, they aren't just building blocks. They actually act as signaling molecules.
Yes, they stimulate what's called muscle protein synthesis, which is literally the process of building and repairing your muscle tissue. And they also contribute to energy metabolism during, those really tough workouts.
And that signaling function is what makes leucine the real star of the show.
It is the star player. Successful BCAA manufacturing really begins and ends with selecting the right ratio because formulators are optimizing for very different results.
Right. If you've ever looked at a supplement label, you've probably seen a big number sequence like 2.1.1.
That 2.1.1 ratio is the classic. It's half leucine, and it offers balanced muscle support for general fitness. It's affordable, it's highly effective, and it has what the industry calls very high market appeal.
It's the standard.
It is the industry standard.
But this is where the engineering gets really targeted. If your specific goal is maximizing muscle building, that anabolic effect, you need more leucine.
A lot more.
So formulators jump to the 4.1.1 or even the 8.1.1 ratios. Can you break down what that anabolic signaling actually means for a user?
Sure. Think of it as a chemical instruction set. Leucine is the specific amino acid that basically flips the switch, telling your muscle cells, okay, start the repair and growth process now.
So an 8.1.1 blend, which is 80% leucine,
is purely designed to just flood the system with that one instruction set, maximizing that potential growth signal. It's highly specialized, and it does come at a higher cost.
because it requires more raw leucine.
Exactly.
That's a great way to put it. So using the analogy from the source material, the ratio difference is kind of like choosing the right gear on a bike.
It's a perfect analogy. The 2.1.1 is your balanced middle gear. It's for general terrain, fitness maintenance.
But when you shift into that aggressive 8.1.1,
You focused all your power on one goal, that steep climb of maximum muscle gain. And that demands a specialized formulation. It's not for everyone.
and we should probably note the 3.1.2 ratio as well.
Yeah, that one is specifically gaining ground with endurance athletes. It offers a different kind of balance that's designed to reduce fatigue over much longer efforts.
So for anyone using these supplements, how much leucine do you actually need to hit that growth threshold?
The research gives manufacturers a really crucial metric. Most studies show you need a total daily dose of about 5 to 10 grams of BCAAs, often a bit higher around training.
But the key is the leucine within that dose.
That's the critical part. You have to ensure that dose contains between 2.5 and 5 grams of leucine. That is the minimum threshold required for that anabolic signal to reliably turn on muscle protein synthesis.
So that's the magic number.
That's the number. That minimum effective dose of leucine is what every single manufacturer is optimizing their product to hit.
And the moment manufacturers figured out how to reliably deliver that leucine in those ratios, the whole industry just exploded. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar operation.
It is genuinely staggering. The global BCAA market hit $2.1 billion last year in 2023.
Wow.
And it's projected to expand at an annual rate of 8.7% through 2030. That growth is no longer just driven by hardcore bodybuilding.
Right, it's much broader now.
It's being fueled by general fitness, by recovery, and just a wider awareness of its benefits.
That is massive. But when we look at that scale, we have to talk about the logistics. This is where we uncover the financial reality, the minimum order quantities, or MOQs.
Yes, this information really illustrates the investment required to even step into this space. I mean, the production timelines are long. First-time order takes about 8 weeks.
8 weeks, just to get started.
Just to source, verify quality, and standardize your chosen ratio. Recurring orders are a bit faster, maybe 6 to 8 weeks, but only if you have superb inventory forecasting.
And the MOQs are immense. So if you want to launch a basic powder product, the most popular form, you are committing to what?
You're committing to either 1,500 finished units or 1,000 kilograms of bulk powder right off the bat.
That is a significant financial commitment for a startup.
And that is just the beginning. The biggest financial gate is for the premium formats.
Like soft gels.
If a brand wants to use soft gels, which are expensive, but they completely eliminate that bitter taste concern, they have the highest MOQ. We're talking 8,500 units of a 60-count bottle.
Which translates to?
500,000 soft gels in bulk.
500,000, wow. That volume explains why you only see soft gel BCAAs from the biggest global players. That barrier to entry is just huge.
It is. It protects the major brands. For other solid formats like capsules, tablets, or gummies, the MOQ is a little lower but still requires 150,000 units in bulk.
And liquids.
Even liquid supplements require 5,000 finished units, or 100 gallons. These numbers aren't just logistics. They are proof that this is a truly industrial-scale operation. So we've got the science of the ratios and the scale of the MOQs. Now, we have to talk about the three major unique challenges that manufacturers had to conquer to make this whole market possible.
Which are what?
Ratio standardization, solubility, and taste masking.
Let's start with the most frustrating one for the user, solubility. I think almost everyone listening has had a clumpy shake where half the powder just settles at the bottom, right?
Oh, absolutely. That clumping is a result of the raw amino acids having naturally varying solubility. They just don't want to dissolve cleanly in water.
So how did they fix that?
To solve this, manufacturers had to implement what they call instantization processes. It's a high-tech solution designed to improve the dissolution of the BCAA particles while, preserving their integrity.
And I imagine particle size is absolutely crucial here, otherwise you get that gritty texture.
Precisely. It's all about creating a fine, uniform powder that disperses instantly.
Okay, now for the second major hurdle, and this is truly the boss-level challenge. The taste.
The taste. Amino acids are notoriously, profoundly bitter. If you're asking someone to consume 5 to 10 grams every day, they're not going to stick with it unless it tastes good.
So the flavor systems aren't just a nice to have.
They are absolutely critical for compliance. Manufacturers spend huge amounts of time and money on strategic processing and integrating strong natural flavor systems. That's why blue raspberry and fruit punch are market leaders.
They're robust enough to mask that bitterness.
They have to be.
Now, moving to sourcing, manufacturers have a key decision. Fermented versus synthetic.
Right. Fermented BCAAs come from plant sources, which makes them vegan-friendly, and they align with this growing clean label movement.
Which is a huge market driver.
It's a powerful one. Consumers want transparent, simple, and natural ingredients, and fermented BCAAs fulfill that requirement, which allows them to command premium pricing.
But here's a question. If the synthetic versions are chemically identical to the fermented ones, why would a brand pay more for fermented sourcing?
That's a great question, and it speaks directly to consumer preference and marketing. Yes, chemically, the amino acids are identical, but the perception of a plant-derived, cleaner source gives the product a unique position in the market.
Especially with health-conscious consumers.
Exactly. But regardless of the source, quality assurance is non-negotiable.
So what are the two most critical checks that manufacturers run?
The two critical checks are ratio verification and screening for contaminants. To verify that ratio, the 2.1.1 or 8.1.1, they use a test called HPLC.
Okay.
Then, for safety, particularly for heavy metals, they use ICP-MS. That ensures the product is clean and meets pharmaceutical-grade standards. We also have to mention Call-Fisher testing, which just measures moisture content.
Which prevents clumping during storage.
A very necessary step.
The technical side of this is enormous. And for the professional athlete market, which certifications matter most?
Well, GMP standards are the baseline for consistent quality. But for pro athletes, certifications like NSF Certified for Sport or Informed Sport are absolutely vital.
Because they test for banned substances.
Exactly. A third party has thoroughly tested the product, and that opens up the highly lucrative professional competition markets.
So beyond mastering the powder, formulators are always innovating on how to deliver this stuff. We know powders give you that perfect high dose 5 to 10 grams, but they're only moderately convenient.
Right. And the other formats represent this constant trade-off between convenience and dose size.
Yeah.
Capsules and tablets are super convenient, easy to travel with.
Right.
But to hit that effective 5-gram dose,
Yeah.
you might have to swallow, 5 to 10 pieces, which can be a bit daunting for some people.
And as you mentioned, soft gels are that premium high MOQ solution that completely gets rid of the bitterness.
Right. And then you have gummies and liquids, which are primarily focused on just being palatable and appealing to the recreational user who values convenience over maybe the precise concentration of the dose.
The real benefit for the listener here, I think, is understanding the synergistic formulas. Manufacturers aren't just selling plain BCAAs anymore.
Not at all. They're creating these highly specialized multi-ingredient blends. For instance, an intra-workout product will combine BCAAs with things like electrolytes, citrulline, and beta-alanine to give you full endurance support during your session.
And if you're focusing just on recovery after a hard effort.
Then you look for recovery formulas. They typically pair BCAAs with glutamine, taurine, and vitamin C to help with muscle repair and immune function. These custom blends just simplify the consumer's routine.
And they package multiple benefits into one product.
Exactly. And we're even seeing BCAA formulations now tailored to support weight loss and metabolic health specifically.
Speaking of powerful duos, we have to highlight the specific synergy between BCAAs and creatine. Creatine is, famous for boosting raw strength and power.
It is. But some users can experience a bit of muscle soreness or stiffness when they first start taking it.
So the advantage of combining them
Is that the BCAAs specifically help alleviate that soreness and fatigue. It's a performance and recovery tandem that truly maximizes both benefits at the same time. It's a very powerful pairing for anyone training hard.
So we've gone from the specific science of the 2.1.1 ratio through the shocking financial commitment needed for those 500,000 unit soft gel orders.
Yeah, that's a big number.
And the technical victory of solving the bitterness and solubility hurdles. This BCAA market is a perfect example of industrial complexity hiding behind a simple recovery drink.
And the future promises even more complexity. The final insight here is this accelerating trend of personalized nutrition. We know the research validates personalized amino acid protocols.
Meaning what exactly?
This means that genetic testing is beginning to guide BCAA requirements. It can predict which custom ratios will be most effective for an individual's unique metabolism and training goals.
So that moves us beyond the general 2.1.1 to something highly targeted, truly custom supplementation.
Absolutely. And as we continue to see this aggressive market growth, and given that fermented BCAAs are appealing to that clean label consumer and that moisture protection is essential for a 2-year shelf life,
Right.
you should consider this. How will the demand for highly effective personalized BCAA ratios drive the need for fully sustainable and specialized packaging solutions? The global supply chain has to adapt to both aggressive growth and evolving consumer ethics.
And that's a massive operational problem.
It's a huge problem that the industry is facing right now.